Hey guys, welcome to part 2 on how to date a girl so well that she wants to be your girlfriend and she wants to be exclusive with you. So if you haven't already, please actually go and watch the first video I made on this series, which is all about the first date, how to get a girl on a first date, what you should do on that first date, and how to maximize the chances of you getting a second date. Please go and watch that one first because you need to understand how to do that one before you can go to this stage. That video is in the description. So today we're going to be talking about the second date, what to do on the second date, and again what you should do around the days of the second date and the dates that follow after the second date until you get to the point of being exclusive. So if you did everything right on the first date, you waited a few days and you've asked her out on a second date and you're going to go on a second date, this is what you need to do. So if your first date went really well, then just do the same kind of date again, but obviously changing a few things. So obviously you don't want to go to the same place, you don't want to be doing really the same things, you want to try and change it up a bit, just have some variety. Your method should be the same like it was on the first date. So just to give a quick recap, that date should have been something that both of you enjoyed. It was fun. You was always focusing on making her laugh, making her happy, trying to make her feel comfortable around you, doing fun things, not really going into any serious topics, just being together and having a bit of a laugh, really. If you did enough and she's attracted to you, then the second date was probably more likely to happen. So she either mentioned bringing up the second date and you made a date there and then, or perhaps she asked you a few days later or reached out to you a few days later and you arranged a date then, or you waited. I think the best time is about 5 days before you ask a girl out again on a date. So those are the possibilities that probably happened for you. So the second date, again, like I said, should be pretty much the same as the first date. So perhaps you went, but perhaps go to a different restaurant or go and do some different activities. Like let's say the first date you went and had a walk around the city or something at night time. Maybe this time you want to do something a little bit different. Perhaps there's like a fun arcade that you go to, or there's a fun little bar or something, somewhere that you can go together to have a chat. However, it's important to note if some things perhaps didn't really go the way you planned on the first date. So perhaps you talked too much, you boasted too much about your successes or how much money you've got, or you just felt there are some times where she felt a little bit uncomfortable. The second date is a great opportunity to fix that. So perhaps if she looked a bit uncomfortable and there were some awkward silences, perhaps you need to come up with like a few more questions to ask, or think about things that she's already said, like on the first day. So let's say she's really interested in animals, or there was a few books that she mentioned that she really liked. Try and think up questions that you can ask about those certain things that she's already mentioned. Because it also proves, if you bring up stuff that she's already mentioned on the second date that she mentioned on the first date, if you bring those things up, it shows that you were listening, that you actually paid attention to what she said. So if you bring up things that she said in the past, then you can ask more questions about it. So perhaps she might have said something about a problem that was going on at work. Maybe bring that up and ask her if that problem's been solved. But obviously, I'm only using that as an example, and you probably should avoid topics that might make her feel bad. But it's okay to ask about a few things that may have been a bit negative that she was going through, just to see if anything's been solved, or maybe you can give your opinion on it if she asks you for it, obviously. Because obviously you don't want to try and fix her problems, you just want her to open up about them and talk about them. So if there's some things that you remember that she said, try and think of more questions that you can ask her so there's less awkward silences or anything like that. The second date is a good opportunity to start fixing the things that you may have messed up on the first date. And obviously she likes you enough now to go on a second date with you, so that's really good as well. So at the moment, if you've got a second date and you're going on a second date with her, you haven't messed up. So the next thing I want to get into is how to behave after the second date, and basically all of those dates that are going to happen in the future to avoid putting her off and to get to the point where she wants to be exclusive with you. So obviously after the second date, it's the same kind of method. If she asks about seeing you again, then you can obviously pick a time to meet up. Again, you probably still want to have it a few days in advance so you can heighten the anticipation about seeing each other. If she doesn't bring up about seeing you again or anything like that, again, just wait 4 or 5 days, probably 5 days is probably the best time after that date to ask her out again. And basically, you want to keep on doing that rinse, recycle, repeat thing. Do it rinse, recycle, repeat pretty much every single time. You want to wait 5 days. You want to wait 5 days after the last date to ask her out again, unless she reaches out to you. And basically, you want to get to the point where she starts missing you so much and wanting to see you that she reaches out first. She initiates that first contact. And when she starts doing that, that is when you can start planning your date. So let's say you've been on your second date, or you've been on your third date, or maybe it's even your fourth date. She will reach out to you, let's say, in 2 days, 2 days after the last date. Then you can ask to meet up. Then you can say, oh, would you want to see each other in 2 days at such and such a time, such and such a place, or something like that. You know, that is when you can start relaxing a little bit when it comes to waiting 5 days in order to message her and meet up. So when she starts reaching out to you, all you have to do is set up the date and then wait for the date to happen, and then continue doing the things that you've been successful at. Now, when I say keep on doing the things that you've been successful at, I don't mean doing the same date over and over and over again, like going to the same restaurant, doing the same stuff. You know, you want to do a variety of different things during those dates so it doesn't become boring. You also want to make sure that you're always looking for signs and signals that she wants to be cuddled or kissed or a hand to be held. And basically you do that just by looking at her body language. I made a video on body language, which you can see here. So please go and check that one out if you want to know about body language signs that a girl likes you. So if she's giving you any of these body language clues and signs, that means she wants to be, that means she likes you. And one way to tell if a girl really likes you and she wants you to kiss her is that she'll be looking at your lips if you're close to each other. She'll also be trying to close the gap and being close to you, like she wants to be cuddled, and then she'll be leaning into you and touching you on your arm or your leg or something. So you have to pay attention to those things, but she might be too shy to make the first move. So don't just wait for her to kiss you. If you notice the signs and signals there and she's being close to you, she's really enjoying your presence, and she's, you know, looking at your lips and all that kind of stuff, make the first move. Make a move, because if you don't, you will lose, right? Because there's some girls are really shy about that thing. They don't want to make the first physical move. You have to be the one that does that if she's not going to do it. Some girls are very open though, and very extroverted in that way, and they do tend to make the first move, and sometimes it can happen, but a lot of the time she will probably want you to make the first move. So basically, the end goal is obviously to get her to be your girlfriend. So you'll start noticing when this thing might start showing up, and usually a girl will want to be exclusive with you and will want to be your girlfriend probably around the end of the second month of dating. So it's been about 5 or 6 dates that you may have had together successfully. So it's good to look for little signs that she wants to be your girlfriend. She may ask you questions like, where's this going? Are you seeing anyone else? You know, she might be asking those kinds of questions. And all you have to do is just try and pull the information out of her and say, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean? Just keep on asking, what do you mean? Oh, okay, that's interesting. What do you mean? You know, keep on asking her that until she says, I want to be exclusive with you, or I want to be your girlfriend. Now, of course, you shouldn't do this prematurely. Wait for the signs and signals. And the signs and signals is that she's asking about relationships. She's asking about where this is going, where you see your future and all that kind of thing. And it's usually, like I said, are usually around the end of the second month. Now, of course, your response to that will be whatever you want it to be, really. I mean, if she is saying, well, I would like to be, where's this going? And then you go, well, what do you mean? And she's like, well, are we going to be in a relationship or something like that? And you can say, well, yeah, I'd love to be in a relationship with you if that's what you personally want, because perhaps you just don't really want a relationship right now. But if you're watching this video, you probably more likely want to be in a relationship with her. So all you have to do is just say, yeah, I would love that. I'd love to be in a relationship with you. Also, sometimes that those actual words might not be brought up, so she might not actually just say to you, I want to be your girlfriend. It might be one of those gradual things where you just end up being a couple anyway without that actual exchange of words. Like one day you might just notice on Facebook that she's asked to be in a relationship with you, like one of those requests kind of thing. So if that happens, then that's great. But like, just be aware that she might not actually just come out and say, I want to be your girlfriend. Perhaps it will just grow. Because basically what will happen in those first 2 months of dating is you'll slowly start to be spending more and more time together until, you know, you're spending, you know, a weekend together, or you might spend a week with her, you know, later on or something. You know, you start spending more and more time together, and the time between dates becomes less and less. So you become in a sort of relationship anyway. But when she's asking you questions about like, are you dating anyone else, or where is this going? It's more than likely that she wants to be exclusive. But don't just assume that. Make sure you ask her about it. Like, what do you mean? Keep on asking, what do you mean when she says those things? And then she will tell you. So I want to give you an example as well about like the right approach and what you should be doing in your dates, the way you should be showing up. Now, I think Jim from The Office, Jim and Pam, their dynamic within the first 2 seasons of The Office, I think is a great way how you should be flirting with a girl and interacting with her. You know, those little inside jokes, those sort of little things that they do, those little pranks that they always seem to be laughing and giggling with each other. That's how you should behave, how you should try and behave on a date with your potential girlfriend. But what I will say is this, obviously there are a few things that is wrong with the character Jim on The Office. Now, I think their interaction with each other, him and Pam's interaction, is perfect. However, she's engaged and he's been put in friend zone, right? So, in my opinion, those things shouldn't happen. He shouldn't have been trying to go after a girl that was already engaged, and he shouldn't have stuck around so long and being put in friend zone. That's something he should never have done. That's something that I think is very, very flawed with the character. So when I say be like Jim, I don't mean be like Jim in such a way that you are moping after a girl for years and years and years that's engaged, and maybe one day she'll bless you with a relationship and leave her current one. What I'm saying is the things you need to pay attention to in their interactions with each other is the key. How they interact with each other is the right approach that you should be having on your dates. Not the moping, not being put in the friend zone. You should never accept the friend zone. Always refuse friend zone. Okay, and I've talked about this a lot in my videos, so you can go back and watch some of my other videos where I talk about being in the friend zone and all that kind of stuff. And what you should do if a girl just wants to be friends with you. That's not what I'm saying here. You know, you shouldn't never accept that if you are interested in her romantically. What I am saying is, again, look at how they interact with each other, and that is the best approach that you could probably have on a date with someone that you really like. So I hope that's come across clear enough. If you have any questions or you want anything more clarified, just write in the comments and I'll try and give a better explanation. But until then, I shall see you in the next video.